Alrighty. Looks like I'm supposed to be live right now. Now, this is the first time I'm going live, everyone, so I'm just going to prefix this with the fact that I don't know what I'm doing here. If this doesn't really work out too well, excuse my noobness. This is first time trying, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, anyways, if any of you guys do show up, feel free to leave something in the chat. We'll get a conversation going and yeah, see where the conversation gets us. Let's see. What is this? Live chat? Welcome to live chat. Okay, there we go. Hello from Saudi Arabia. Hey, welcome. You're the first person in the chat. How are you doing? Oh, there we go. A few people there. Hello, welcome. How are y'all doing? Hope you're enjoying your weekend. Check out the shirt, by the way. Plants and weights, that's all it takes. Pretty cool. Got at the vegan friendly event in Tel Aviv. Oh, look at there. We got some people here. Oh, how's it going, Paul? How are you doing? I might have to ask you a few questions on how you do this live thing because yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can do apparently. But I'm not a very tech savvy guy, so we'll just try it out and see how it goes. Oh, look at that. Brazil, Vancouver, people from everywhere. Colombia. Awesome. Well, welcome everyone. Holland as well. Oh, cool. So yeah, basically I thought we'd just have a chat, see how it goes. Start off with a little story. Actually, yesterday I was sitting outside. I have this little night routine where I like to listen to a podcast or audiobook outside in the balcony before going to bed to allow myself to kind of wind down before going to bed and stay away from all the blue lights, etc. And what happened yesterday was the first time ever, I've never experienced this before, where I think I saw in less than 30 minutes, I saw 10 shooting stars in the night sky, and I'd never seen that many before. And it really just got me thinking, like, well, number one, I didn't make 10 wishes, but I looked up what are shooting stars because I had no idea what a shooting star was, right? And apparently, it's actually, this is pretty interesting actually, because I looked it up. I had no idea what it was. I thought, shooting stars are suns, right? But you can't have suns just flying around like a shooting sun. That would be bad, right? So no, it's not a shooting sun. But apparently it's small particles, either of rocks coming from comets or asteroids that burn up and vaporize in the atmosphere. And that then got me thinking, like, what's the difference between a comet and an asteroid? I didn't know about that either. So I looked it up. And so apparently there's this whole classification. So comets apparently are these huge masses of ice and rock and dust that can be miles long in diameter. So huge things. And they orbit around the sun. And most meteors that we see, like the shooting stars, are coming from comets. And then you have asteroids, which are either metal or rocks, usually over 10 meters in diameter, that also orbit around the sun. And then you have meteorites, and that is apparently a smaller version. So that's like between a grain of sand and a boulder, but smaller than an asteroid. And those are the ones that we see come into the atmosphere when we see a meteor or a shooting star. And then a meteorite, I think, is when it actually doesn't burn up, but actually hits the Earth. So anyways, that's a little classification there of the meteor showers, etc. Let's see. That was yeah, I just thought it was kind of interesting. I'd never learned about any of this stuff before. So I don't know how this works. I'm just gonna start reading through this stuff here. We got so many people from everywhere. Dublin, USA. If you flip the mic, we will hear you better. Oh, have I been like talking with zero sound this whole time? Okay. I hope you guys can hear me okay. Let me know if the sound is better now. This is all news to me. Yeah. See, Paul, astrology lessons here with Dr. Leo Venus. Let's do this. Get Dr. Avi on here. Yeah, I'm actually supposed to talk with Avi. Apparently, there's this guy called Bart Kay who's like super hardcore carnivore guy who's been really wanting to debate me for a while, and I'm supposed to like. He's apparently not a big fan of the vegan thing. I'm supposed to like debate him in the next week or so. So it's gonna be fun. I was gonna have a chat about that because I think he has some debate experience. Get some tips. Okay, mic is fine. You guys can hear me okay. That's cool. That's cool. All right. So I don't know what you guys want to talk about. It's like, let's get a conversation going. I don't know. You guys let me know what you want to talk about, and I'll talk. If you guys are interested, by the way, in sleep hygiene, for example, I just talked about my routine. This is probably one of the most useful things you can do in order to improve your quality of sleep. Apart from anatomical things that can be wrong, where some people have difficulty breathing and stuff. If you're very overweight, you can have something called obstructive sleep apnea, etc. But for most people, what happens? Oh man, some of these comments are so funny. I'm gonna have to answer these. But yeah, so basically, sleep hygiene is one of the for the majority of people is what can help your quality of sleep go up the most. And sleep hygiene is a set of guidelines or behaviors that have been set by sleep specialists in sleep medicine in order to either behaviors that can improve or promote good sleep or promote bad sleep. So if you guys can even just Google sleep hygiene, you'll find it. Or if you guys want to, I can go over it here as well. I can pull up the table that I got from the Royal College of Surgeons where I studied medicine, and we can just go through it if you guys want to. But anyways, it's a really nice kind of checklist to go through and see if you guys are doing anything that might be affecting your sleep negatively. All right. Okay, so sound is good. Yay for astrology. Yeah, I know you are a big fan of that. Let's see. It's funny, I actually have some friends on here. Oh, we have my cousin, Jon Arne. Hvordan går det med deg? Håper alt står bra til I Nordkisa. All right. Awesome. Vegan Christmas food idea. So if any of you guys are wondering about Christmas foods or recipes, my mom is actually going to be posting vegan Christmas recipes on her Instagram for the entire month of December. So I'm actually going to write down her Instagram here so you guys can follow her if you want some recipe ideas. This is embarrassing. I don't even remember my own mom's Instagram handle. 1 second. But yeah, she's posting a lot of Brazilian recipes, a lot of dessert recipes, stuff like that. So that should be good for any of you who want some ideas. Let's see. And, she's the one who makes all the good food in the house. Whenever I'm alone, like now, I'm just making tempeh and tofu every day, which you guys who follow me on Instagram probably know about that. So I just at Glaucy RJ, as I wrote there, if you guys want some Christmas food ideas. Oh, let's see here. Got another few good comments here. Awesome. I feel like it's actually surprisingly hard to keep up with what you guys are saying and speak at the same time. The challenges of YouTube Live. Let's see. If you had a completely free day, how would you spend it? Just a total personal day to restore. I would just go to nature, personally, whether it's hiking on the mountains or going to the beach or just going to some forest or something. That's it's for me, the most relaxing thing is just spending time in nature. The more untouched, the better. The more fresh air, the less pollution, the less exhaust pipes and cars and buildings, the less noise, the more happy I would be. Let's see. Yeah, I think what happened to your handsome friend, the Gentle Ginger? So I have there's a guy, the Gentle Ginger. He hasn't been around for a while, but from what I heard, he's starting to make a lot of money. He's still living in the corporate world in Dublin, and his hair is getting more and more orange by the day. That's right, Gentle Ginger. Maybe one day you guys will see him again. Let's see. Thoughts on turmeric, black pepper, boost absorption? Yeah, it does. There are actually studies showing this, randomized controlled trials, etc. So if you want to get more benefits from your turmeric, the anti-inflammatory benefits, etc., do sprinkle on some black pepper. Pepper. That's what I always do. And it makes it taste better, in my opinion, with some pepper on it as well. Manage migraines. So migraines are one of these multifaceted, there's a lot of different things that can trigger them and impact them. It's a very complex thing. So it's not very easy to tell exactly what can be done for each person. There are definitely many people who have gotten rid of a lot of migraines through lifestyle modification. So eating healthier, sleeping better, exercising, etc. So there's a lot of things. Dairy seems to be a trigger for a lot of people. Some people can't take, chocolate, stuff like that. But again, there's not really one cause that we can say to everyone, avoid this and you'll get rid of migraines. But yeah, I think for a lot of these things, in medicine, it's called idiopathic, when you have something that we don't understand the cause of and we don't know exactly what causes the issues to arise. We call it idiopathic, which is nothing to do with idiotic or idiots, even though maybe that's why we don't know, because we're all idiots, so we don't know why what causes it. But yeah, idiopathic means we don't know the cause, and migraines are one of those things. However, like I said, there are people who have had a lot of success just really focusing on their lifestyle. And when it comes to idiopathic conditions in general, taking care of your lifestyle as much as possible is always going to be very, very beneficial. The worst case scenario is it won't completely resolve what you have, but it will make your health much, much better in general. So it's definitely worth it. Let's see. I hope I'm not losing track, because sometimes the live chat just jumps forward and then I jump over a lot of questions without being able to make sure that I don't miss any. Let's see. Okay, so let's see where we were. Turmeric. Do you watch sports? I used to watch a lot of sports when I was a kid. When Ronaldinho used to play here in Barcelona, actually, I used to watch all the time because he was my favorite player. He was my hero. I would, practice football or soccer for the Americans every day because I wanted to be the next Ronaldinho. I would do like kick-ups all day when I was alone and nobody could play with me. I actually got a good record. My record for kick-ups is 2,256 touches without the ball falling. So that was, I think I was like 13 or 14 when I did that. But yeah, I used to watch a lot of football. Nowadays, I don't really watch TV in general. I'm just working all day or working out or doing something productive, or just relaxing sometimes as well. Not always productive. But yeah, I don't really watch a lot of TV. I barely watch any movies. I used to be really big on movies as well, but not much. Let's see. Bart Cake, collecting anecdotes. Yeah, so this is the thing about the carnivore diet. It's all about, I actually had a debate, not really a debate. It was supposed to be a debate, but it turned out more like a conversation with Sean Baker. And, in that conversation, he actually did say that what actually spurs him to, or what makes him confident in the carnivore diet, is personal anecdotes, which is completely unscientific, really. But yeah, that's basically what the whole carnivore diet is based on. It's very hypocritical for them to be so demanding of evidence when there's zero evidence for the carnivore diet as well. Okay, so not so nice. Well, we'll see. Whatever. It'll be fun. Let's see. Oh, I answered this one. Okay, so there you go. See, I jumped back, and then now I'm on some of the questions that I've already answered. Leonardo da Vinci, back from the dead. Welcome back to life, Leonardo da Vinci. Having decaffeinated coffee and watching the live stream. Good times. Well, welcome, Leonardo da Vinci. Hope you're having a good time. Maybe you can make some sculptures and art while you're at it. Let's see. Sleep hygiene. Okay, some people want some sleep hygiene stuff. I might just pull up my chart and go through it with you guys then, if you do want to see it. I'm just going to try to catch up real quick with all the questions here. Need to supplement iodine if we don't consume iodized salt. What's your opinion? Yeah, so there's a few, like iodine is one of those a little bit complicated ones, because a lot of vegetables, a lot of legumes, a lot of plants actually do have iodine, but it's more dependent on the soil and where it's coming from. So it's not always very reliable. So there's a few ways of making sure. Number one, of course, is taking a supplement. Then you obviously know you're getting enough iodine. The other one is taking iodized salt, as you mentioned. Another way is taking some seaweed. You can sprinkle some kind of seaweed toppings on food, stuff like that. And then actually some, flour flours are enriched with iodine as well. Now, I do recommend staying away from processed or refined flours, so that wouldn't be the best source. But there's definitely a few ways of doing it. How do you get from skinny to muscular fast without steroids? The number two of the biggest things are going to be, obviously, you have to train specifically for hypertrophy, so heavy weights, and you're going to have to eat a lot of protein, eat a lot of calories. And depends on fast. That's a relative term. So you're never gonna go from really skinny to huge all of a sudden. It's gonna take a while, but consistency and patience, and over the years you'll have a massive difference for sure. But don't expect it to happen within a few months. Even though you can see some really impressive results in a few months too, but the big changes come over long periods of time. Did you learn anything about mast cell activation syndrome in medical school? No, I am not familiar with that syndrome. It sounds very interesting though. Immunology in general is really, really interesting subject. Something that we're actually just discovering so many new things all the time. So yeah, that would be something interesting to look into actually. Mast cells, for those of you who don't know, are some of the immune or inflammatory cells that release histamine and are responsible for a lot of the allergic reactions people have. So yeah, really interesting stuff. Any plans to come to India? Not at the moment. I would love to. I mean, I want to travel the entire world someday in my life, but no plans as of yet. Still going to debate. I think I'm going to do a debate with Barkay, as I mentioned earlier. Yes, that is right. Hey, fellow soy boy. Yeah, soy boys and goji girls, you're all welcome. What kind of doctor are you? I'm an Instagram doctor. So basically, if I get this question a lot. So I finished my medical degree, and 4 years in the medical industry, and doing practical periods with hospitals and doctors, and seeing how the industry works was enough for me to be sure that I don't want to go that path. That is not my career of choice. So I'm a doctor by training, but I'm not pursuing a career in medicine. I'm not trying to work in a hospital. I'm not trying to open my own clinic. What I want to try to do is teach people an evidence-based approach to healthy lifestyle and to preventing all these chronic diseases, which do account for around 70 to 80%, depending on the statistics you're looking at, of all of the disease burden today. So that is really what I'm working towards at the moment. Let's see. But yeah, I guess I'll be a doctor always, just because I've gone through medical training. You talk about natural ways to help insomnia. I don't like taking pills. Yeah, we'll talk about sleep hygiene in a second. I see there's quite a bit of people who are quite interested in sleep. So we'll definitely look at the sleep hygiene chart in just a second. Let's see. Should debate Bobby and Tristan. I'm happy to talk to anyone really, but yeah, I don't know how productive talking with these people is. Maybe it's just entertainment, and if it's entertaining, I might do it as well. Let's see, the doctor, nutrition, medical school. Most doctors are extremely ignorant on nutrition. That is correct. I can attest. I've had all the typical questions from not only medical students, but professional doctors, from, like consultants and the top boss doctors. I've gotten, where do you get your protein? How can you get calcium without milk? How can you get omega-3s? Carbs make you fat, all that good stuff. So if you're thinking that doctors are in general a good source of nutrition information, throw that idea away. It's not true. Unless they've done a lot of research on their own time, or they've taken the time to learn about nutrition, most are not very reliable sources. And in general, if you guys know the hierarchy of evidence, expert opinion is the least reliable source of information. You should always look at more reliable sources. Height, weight, current goal. So I don't really know my weight in pounds. It's around 93 kg right now. I'm about 193 or 94 centimeters, which I think is like 6'4". And right now I'm focusing on bulking again, just because I'm not really doing any other sports. So I'm just lifting weights. Actually, I am doing jiu-jitsu, but I'm only doing that twice a week. So it leaves the rest of the week just for building and lifting weights. So that's my goals right now. Oh, wow. There's quite a few things here. Okay, I don't know if I'm going to get through all of this. Hopefully I got through quite a bit there. Do you drink alcohol? No, almost never. I don't have a rule that I never drink it, but it is toxic to the brain, to the digestive system. It's a recognized carcinogen. So from a health point of view, the only responsible thing to say is minimize, which means as little as possible, which technically means zero. So I probably drink alcohol once or twice a year, very, very rarely. And I never drink a little bit just to like fit in. If anything, I'll just have a glass of something else, and people won't really even know what you're drinking. And you can always pretend that you're a little bit crazy and people will think you're drinking anyway. So it's not a big deal. Just let your voice, your soy boy voice out and start shouting and having fun. It's a good time. Nobody will suspect a thing. Let's see. How are you? I'm doing really well, Paul. How are you doing? I look forward to seeing you again. Yeah, keep making those awesome videos, man. You've been killing it lately. Let's see. What else do we have? Okay, let's see. Vitamin D supplement, good idea in winter? Yes, for everyone. So today I actually was a lot in the sun, so I didn't take it. But for every day that you're not in the sun, whether it's winter or summer, any day that you don't get sun exposure, technically it is beneficial to supplement with a vitamin D. D3 is the active. Leo live. Yes, I know. It's the first time. Welcome. How strict with veganism are you? Like if you come to Brazil and ask for French bread, pão francês, would you ask if it contains eggs or milk? Yes, I would. I'm completely strict with veganism. I've had a few accidents over the years where I've eaten something and then found out that contains milk or something, but it's very rarely. And usually I ask before I eat something anyway. So almost never happens. And I've been vegan for almost 7 years now. So yeah, I have no trouble asking anywhere I go whether there's milk or anything. And most people are extremely helpful. That's one of the things when you're new to veganism, sometimes you feel like, oh, I can't ask people, they'll think it's impolite if I ask if they can make something that's not on the menu. Most restaurants are more than happy to. I've had so many times I've gone to restaurants that have zero vegan options, and you just explain to them and ask, and they'll be more than happy to put something together. Sometimes it turns out better than others. Sometimes it'll be some depressing leaves with some tomato or something, but a lot of times they actually make something useful. So yeah, I am definitely strict with veganism, and I don't eat eggs despite being part of the Venus family. Hint, hint, burn for John. No, just joking. John is also vegan. I know you guys are probably tired of the whole drama, so might as well just skip all of that. Drink coffee? Nope, I don't drink coffee. Alcohol, we just covered that. And coffee, caffeine is like, it's a lot of people don't realize this, but caffeine actually comes from the same the plant that is in the same family as the cocaine plant. It's a stimulant, probably not the best to have a lot of. Some people quote caffeine as being the world's most popular drug. It's definitely a performance enhancing substance. If you're competing in sports, caffeine can really boost your performance. It's one of the really well recognized ones. But no, I don't drink coffee. And there are, the whole coffee bean, there are beneficial components to it as well. So I can't really say that coffee in general is unhealthy, but definitely would say to try not to overdo the caffeine part of it. And there's also some worries around, absorption of calcium and iron, especially if you're having it close to meals with coffee. It might inhibit some of that absorption. So you have to be careful with that as well. It would be cool if Hench debated. Yeah. That would be cool. I would watch that. Let's see. Will you ever stop being vegan? No, I don't think so. I mean, unless I'm on a desert island with nothing but a pig. I'll not stop being vegan. I don't see that happening. All right. Starch solution, gain a good amount of muscle. I would say it's probably possible to gain a good amount. Depends what you mean by a good amount. Optimal, I wouldn't say so. You have to really focus on increasing protein if you want to build optimally. That's just part of it. So yeah, eating nothing but like starchy foods is definitely not optimal for muscle building. But again, it's another thing here on YouTube. Everyone wants to be big and buff, like grow the soy titties. But no, it's not necessary to be buff to be healthy. These are two different things. But if you do want to do the two things, then you should focus on incorporating a lot of high protein foods from whole foods preferentially. And if you're going to use protein powders, then I recommend some of the higher quality companies that do third-party testing, etc., and don't have a lot of additives and flavorings, etc. Did you watch Vegan Gains against your brother? Yeah, I did. thought we weren't going to talk about this, but yeah, no, I did. I thought the whole thing was kind of, it just gave a bad vibe about veganism. I think this is kind of the thing that pushes a lot of people away from veganism, this whole superiority, like I am better than thou vibe. And that one was really, really showcased that, you know, especially when they got to the stage where it's like, oh, I am a better vegan than you. I was just imagining anyone who isn't a vegan walking into that debate and seeing that part, just be like, what on earth is wrong with these people quarreling over who is the better vegan? So yeah, that was I think Richard is a really nice guy, and whatever, you know, it's just drama on YouTube. But yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan of that debate anyways, but I did see it. Let's see. No, the chat is moving. Where was I? Soy, one person says good, and I hear a completely different opinion. Do you know? Okay, so soy, there's a lot of studies, a lot of meta-analyses looking at soy. As long as you're not going crazy and eating it, you know, I think the study, there was one study that found that above 5 servings of soy per day, you might get a little bit of IGF-1 increases. But as long as you're not eating a ton of soy, it's not really an issue. Some people might have, you know, there's always exceptions to every rule. Some people might have intolerances, allergies, etc. But for the majority of people, soy is not a problem. It's actually the only findings from the biggest quality studies are actually reduced breast and endometrial cancer rates in women and reduced prostate cancer risk in men. So yeah, it's not something to avoid at all. Okay, let's see. ¿Por qué eres tan guapo? Porque soy vegano y todos veganos son muy guapos. All right. Best thing for insomnia is sleep restriction or sleep restriction therapy. Going to oh, okay, that wasn't really a question. It was just a comment. Yeah, you guys are chatting amongst yourselves. That's good too. That's good. Everyone's having conversations here. Is this the real Leo? Yes, I'm not just some pixels made up by YouTube algorithms. I'm the real deal. I think I'm actually, I don't know, you guys, if you guys think this is a good idea, I might do something like a live stream every Sunday at the same time so that you guys can come and we'll hang out same time every week. If you guys have any questions, you can, you know, put it up. And then if there's some questions that we can't get through and are really good, we can save them for the next week, and then we'll do another in the live stream and then go over the questions we didn't go through, etc. So it'll be a kind of a cool little channel tradition to do. If you guys think that's a good idea, let me know, and we'll start doing weekly lives here on the channel as well. Okay, where was I? What do you think about doctors claim that carnivore diet is the best? Well, I understand it. It makes sense from an emotional point of view because, you know, human beings, including doctors, are emotional for the most part. But from an objective or logical point of view, it's completely ridiculous. It makes no sense whatsoever. And like I said, it's not based on science. It's based on personal anecdotes, which is, from a scientific point of view, it's pretty much useless. So not a great fan, obviously. But yeah, I think I already touched on that earlier. Should people avoid keto diet? Again, most of the evidence looking at keto diets have seen that, or at least, you know, short term, there might be benefits. We don't know for sure. Long term, low carb diets don't do very well for health. You know, the only real strong evidence for keto diets that I'm aware of is for treatment of certain types of epilepsy in children, not really something that is used for health, long-term health in people. So yeah, I would definitely not recommend that. Let's see. Lifestyle reimbursed in Norway. I'm not very familiar with the system in Norway because I did everything and outside, but I'm sure there are some lifestyle clinics in Norway as well that you could check out if you're living in Norway. What is your take on barley grass powder? Tablespoon whooping milligrams of calcium. How much should we take? I don't take barley grass powder. You know, I think if it's whole foods, I think usually it can be part of a healthy diet. I'm not too familiar with the literature on barley grass. So I'm not gonna really give you any strong comments on that. You know, some things like spirulina have high rates of contamination with this neurotoxin. So that is an example of something that could potentially be healthy that oftentimes isn't. I'm not too familiar with barley grass, so not really too sure about that one. So reliable source, I would say you have to take a mix of, all the tiers of the hierarchy of evidence, but there's a lot of reliable sources. If you're going from the bottom, to case studies, to cohort studies, to meta-analyses, and then you go to the top organizations such as Academy of Nutrition Dietetics, Dietitians of Canada, British Nutrition Foundation. They're all stating that vegan diets can be helpful for all stages, etc. And then also that they have benefits for reducing risk of cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, and types of cancer. And on top of all that, we have, there's hundreds of studies. So it's really it's kind of difficult to say what is a good source because there's just so many. And this is the thing about studies, you can always find one study that shows this or that, but it's really about the whole picture, the big picture. What is the weight of the evidence in either direction rather than just finding a study that confirms your bias, right? So studies can be a very complicated subject. A lot of people don't really know how to use them very well. All right, I think I'm just going to skim through some of these questions. Sorry if I'm not getting your question. There's just so many. I'm so surprised that so many. There's 100 people right now watching, so many questions. Thank you all for coming. I'm really happy that you're all here. Let's see. Do you have an opinion on weight loss surgery? Yeah, don't do it. I mean, if there's always surgery in general, from my experience, I've been so close. I've seen so many surgeries. I've been in this industry for a while. And I can tell you, as someone who's been in a lot of operating theaters and seen so many people get operated on, it's not something you want to do. It really isn't. And people don't realize most surgeries don't fix you. They're just, it's like knee surgery. A lot of people think, oh yeah, I'm going to be as good as new. I'm going to have a 100% new knee. No, even after surgery, your knee is usually never going to recover more than, say, around 70% of functionality. So being able to repair or prevent, obviously, is the best, or keep the body functioning the way it's naturally supposed to, is always going to outperform surgery. So surgeries, life-saving surgery is all good, but for most things, surgery is not the best decision or the best choice to go with. Let's see. Do you have a podcast? No, but I did actually just do an episode with the PBN podcast, so that should be out in a few weeks' time. So that was fun. Oh, let's see. We got a weird hater comments going on here. Okay, well, thank you for your comments. Anyways, we got. Used to be alcoholic. Well, if you're not alcoholic anymore, well done. Congratulations. Definitely one of the best things you can do for your health is to avoid taking substances which impact you negatively. So great stuff. Thoughts on creatine? I have a video on creatine. It's one of the most researched supplements. Definitely does have a good ergogenic or performance enhancing effect in most people while being safe. Some people do have worries about hair loss, etc., but that was also due to some misinterpretation of data. It was one study that found that people with high DHT levels can get balding or loss of hair faster, and then they kind of correlated that some people get higher DHT levels or dihydrotestosterone levels on creatine, but they've never actually connected creatine to hair loss in a single study. The only side effect that has ever been documented is weight gain, which is usually water weight. So people usually gain, a couple of kilos when taking creatine. Do you have a girlfriend? Well, I have a lot of friends who are girls. Does that count? I have a lot of girlfriends. Yeah. Thanks for the question. Oh, getting questions everywhere now. Let's put this on silent. Let's see. Where was I? This is really actually a lot harder than I thought. This multitasking is something I have to get used to. PRs in the gym. Well, I actually don't really do PRs very often. I don't really do a lot of max lifts. I just started actually this month doing a little bit of max training. So I'm planning on doing it once a month. I'll do bench, shoulder press, weighted pull-ups, and maybe squats, and that's it. But obviously I always focus on form, always focus on doing everything correctly, no ego lifting. The number of weights isn't really what matters. As long as you're progressing and getting better yourself, don't compare yourself to others. It's useless. But Yeah, I think PRs, right now this month I did for the first time ever 120 kg for bench press. I did, I think it was 70 for shoulder press, and then 160 for squat, and then 30 kilos weighted on the pull up. I think that was right. But yeah, again, not really, it doesn't really matter what your PRs are. Just as long as you're building it up, you should be happy. Enjoy the gym, enjoy the benefits. As long as it's the process, it's the system that matters, not the results. All right. Oh, wow. So many questions. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm just going to be, again, skipping through a few. Okay. Let's see. What was your favorite vegan food in Ireland? Well, I really like the Sova, vegan butcher. I know, quite a cool name. Cool, or it's a funny name, at least for a completely vegan restaurant, the vegan butcher. But that was a really good restaurant. Also, the Happy Pear, which isn't completely vegan, but is also got a lot of vegan options, very good as well, and was out by the Greystones Walk in Ireland, which is very nice. Beet juice performance enhancer. Yeah, so there are a few studies looking at, actually that was one of the big scandals of the game changers that everyone's pointing out, right? Like, how can you increase your bench by 19%? But they were talking about total weight, so it's the number of reps times the weight is the total weight benched. So yeah, there's a lot of studies actually showing that beet juice can increase performance. So yeah, it's something to consider. It's a healthy performance enhancing substance, right? And the reason is the nitrates that just really help with the vasodilation, or the opening up of the arteries, and gets the blood flow to go into those muscles where you want them. So yeah. All right. Hey man. Hey Aaron Goldberg, welcome. Let's see. Do you prefer frogs or toads, please? A very good question. I prefer toads, just because I actually don't know what they are compared to frogs. What's the difference? I don't even know. Maybe it's another thing to look up, just like the meteor stuff. Let's see. When will debate Bart K? I'm not sure. I think it's supposed to be next week or the week after, something like that. So that'll be interesting. Yeah, please ignore the hate weird comments that was sent over there. This is the internet. Be nice. Be a moderator of your channel. Emuna B. Sorry, don't know who that is. I don't know what you mean by being a moderator of my channel. Let's see. Fart K. Hey, be nice. Be nice to Bart K. Don't call him Fart K. All right. Oh, hey, Bart is here. Hey, welcome, Bart. Let's see. So this is why the conversation suddenly got very busy here. Yeah, so welcome, Bart. Welcome. Okay, what else do we have here? Wow, so many questions. Okay, so I think, oh, hey, Yiwang, RCSI, way. Yeah, I'm not really missing the college life, sorry to say. Well, actually, no, I'm not gonna lie. I loved RCSI life, just because I had a ton of good friends. I lived in a kind of a student apartment complex with Ahmed, Sunny, the guy who always says, nobody cares on my stories. Some of you may remember him. And I lived with Muhammad as well. And I had a lot of good friends, had a lot of good times. Student life is a lot of good. I think I'm going to miss it for sure. Student life was a lot of fun. But I can't say I miss like the university. I miss the people in them. All right. I miss you, Yiwang. Hope you're doing well. All right. Let's see. Where are we? Thank you for the answer. You are welcome. Toads are far fatter and bigger. I did not know that. Well, the bigger the better. Yeah, Toad's been hitting the gym, making gains, Toad gains every day. Good stuff. Okay, so I am going to go through the sleep hygiene chart, just because so many of you guys were wondering. And like I said, sleep is one of these very underestimated lifestyle factors that can improve everyone's health. If you are not taking care of your sleep hygiene, this can be a significant improvement to our health. So I'm just going to pull it up here and give you guys a brief summary. If I knew how to post it on the live screen, I would, but like I said, I am not a very tech savvy guy. So I'm just going to read it out for you guys. I hope you don't mind. Let's see here. I'm just going to open it up. Where did I have it? There we go. That's the folder, sleep hygiene chart. Okay, so as I said, sleep hygiene, for those of you who weren't here earlier, is a set of behaviors that have been shown to either support good quality sleep or get in the way of good quality sleep. Now, the good practice guidelines include things like, some of them are quite straightforward, but some of them can be a bit surprising. So number one, waking up at the same time every day, and that's been shown to promote good sleep. Exercising regularly is another thing. Setting aside time to deal with tomorrow's stresses is a pretty obvious one as well, but how you do that might be a different question, right? Establishing regular patterns of relaxation, so relaxation routines, either like taking hot baths, showers, meditation, taking walks out in nature. There's a lot of things you can do, but having a relaxation routine tends to be a very good thing. Light snacks only. Going to bed when drowsy, obviously, again, sounds very logical, right? But some people don't. And then in terms of the room, you have a few things as well to take into account. So obviously, you want your bed to be relatively comfortable. You want a dark room that is neither too hot nor cold. You want it to be dark as possible when you're sleeping. So you want to have good blinds. And then you want your bed to be used for sleep and sex only. So that means you don't really want to have work being done on bed, because you don't want to condition your subconscious mind to start thinking about work when you're in bed. You want to condition yourself to be bedtime is sleep time, or sex time, I guess, but not work time. Lights out as soon as in bed. Yeah. So actually, blue lights and artificial lights are good to limit in the last hour before you go to bed, to allow yourself to wind down as well. Spending enough time outdoors in exposure to natural light and getting that circadian rhythm being registered as well is a good thing. And then learning to ignore intrusive thoughts and ideas. Meditation is really helpful here. So for some of the bad practice guidelines, so here on the one that we were taught in RCSI, we have no more than 6 caffeinated drinks a day. That's a lot. I don't know why they put the bar or the threshold that high. It's probably because all the doctors who made this are probably on 6 caffeinated drinks a day, so they thought they'd give themselves some leeway. But yeah, so you don't want to have too much caffeine. Napping during the day can get in the way, especially if they're very long naps. Exercising within 3 hours of sleep, so you want to keep it before 3 hours before you go to bed. Caffeine in the evening as well. Going to sleep where if you're very hungry is not good, but then also on the other side, if you're having a very heavy meal within 3 hours of sleep, that can get in the way. So I always recommend your last big meal be at the very most around 3 hours before sleep time. Ideally it would be a little bit earlier than 3 hours before you go to sleep. Excess fluid intake in the evening. Obviously, you don't want to be waking up peeing loads of times at night. Alcohol late in the evening. A lot of times find that they can fall asleep really well with alcohol, but the quality of sleep actually tends to go down. Working within 1.5 hours of desired sleep time is also not good. So you don't want to be working up until you go to sleep. Exciting videos and TV shows late in the evening. That was personally for me one thing that we always did. We almost had a family tradition of watching shows before going to bed. Back in the day, I used to watch all of the like Dexter and what's called Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones, Sons of Anarchy, all that stuff back in my college days. Well, back before medical school. After medical school, I barely watched anything. Basically, the only thing we watched was me and Ahmed, my buddy. We watched a bit of Vikings, but almost no shows whatsoever. But yeah, you don't want to have excitement. You don't have your emotions really built up right before going to sleep. You want to be the opposite. You want to relax and calm down. And then watching TV in the bedroom. This is a terrible one. A lot of people have TVs in their bedroom. Not a good idea. Like I said, working in the bedroom, not good. Being angry in bed because of inability to sleep. So it's recommended, if you can sleep for a while, to actually get up and go outside of your bed and sit down, do something really boring until you really start to really feel tired again, and then go back to sleep instead of just lying there frustrated that you can't sleep. And then, yeah, trying too hard to fall asleep kind of ties in with what you just said. And then reading stimulated books. So things that stimulate you emotionally, it kind of relates to that, exciting videos and TV late in the evening. So yeah, kind of similar to that one. So that's basically the basic sleep hygiene chart. There's quite a few different ones, but yeah, if you guys look up sleep hygiene, you can go through all the things in the list and check, is there something that I'm doing that is in the bad list? Then you can try, if it's convenient for you, to cut that out. Or if there's anything in the good practice guidelines that you are not incorporating into your life, and it could be something that you can conveniently incorporate, then that might be something to consider as well. And as I was mentioning with you guys, my bedtime routine now consists of, usually I'm doing stuff until quite late at night on my computer, and the times when I'm on my computer until I go to sleep, I definitely do notice a really bad negative impact on my sleep. So what I do, my sleep routine right now is I go outside on my balcony in the dark, no lights. I listen to a podcast or audiobook for around 30 minutes outside in the fresh air, just looking at the night sky, which is why I saw 10 shooting stars yesterday and started talking about that. Actually, it's funny because, yeah, it's not a normal phenomenon. It's actually the Geminid meteor shower. So apparently we're getting all these dust particles coming from this asteroid that orbits pretty close, and these dates that we've had were actually the ones where these particles are coming in, these meteors. So there was a reason I saw 10 shooting stars so quickly after each other. It wasn't just a coincidence, but I had no idea this was happening. I was just looking at the sky and seeing shooting stars one after the other. I have no idea what was going on. I thought the world was going to end. Just joking. I'm not like that. I'm actually pretty non-worried about that. But yeah, so I sit outside for 30 minutes outside, no lights, listening to audiobook or podcast, and then I do a quick meditation as I go to bed, and usually then I sleep like a baby really, really well. And that is my bedtime routine, and it's been working really well, and I feel a lot more rested and ready to kill my workouts. Not kill, that's not very vegan. To smash my workouts, smash my smoothies, eat all that tempeh, and grow like a good soy boy. But yeah, that's it. So I hope you guys find that useful. I'm just going to take a quick look, see if there's any last few things I will say before I end this live chat. I think this is, wow, almost 15 minutes in already. This definitely fly by the time. But yeah, I think this is kind of fun. I'm just trying to figure stuff out here. But yeah, well, maybe if you guys think it's a good idea, we'll start doing live streams, like I said, every week, every Sunday. We'll start doing live streams, and that way we can get, we can hang out and have a chat whenever you guys have anything you guys want to ask. We'll do that. Let's see what's going on here. Dun, 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 dun. All right, we'll just pick up where I left off. A moderator can delete comments and ban users from live chat. This is your first stream, but you can set up people moderate for later. Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't know about that. See, learning something new every day. Thank you, Just Megawatt, for that. I had no idea, and that's how it worked. Sorry, I don't like Bart K. His science is garbage. Well, his science, I haven't really seen him talk about science too often. Usually he's just trying to, I guess, deny or throw away science, really. But yeah, everyone's, you're free to have your opinion. I'm sure there's a lot of people on his channel that don't like me either. I saw you in a 10,000 calorie challenge, John Venus challenge. That was a painful day. And that was the most disgusting meal I've ever had, because Catherine, John's wife, who at the time was his girlfriend, was supposed to actually make the last meal to get me to a huge number of calories. And by the way, it was 14,000 calories in the end, not 10,000. So it was a huge amount. But yeah, then she couldn't cook it for some reason. She had something that came up. And so John made the meal for me. And he made the most disgusting pasta I've ever seen. It was this spaghetti and he just started throwing random things like tahini and peanut butter and olive oil. And it just turned out really horrible. And I don't know how I ate a full casserole of that by myself. And I don't know how I got through that. That was really, really painful. But yeah, I'm not going to do a calorie challenge again. It was pretty stupid, but it got views. So yeah, do it for the gram or for the YouTube. All right. Where were we? Can we find the sleep chart? Yeah, so like I said, if you just Google sleep hygiene, you should find it. Otherwise, I might, I don't know if I can post it somewhere. Maybe I can post on my Instagram or Facebook or something if you guys want to see the actual chart. Where Or if you just really want to see my chart, just email me. I have my email, my Instagram, and then I can send you the sleep charts as well. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Bart K says he is not wrong. Let's just take his word for that for now. Dun, 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 dun. All right. Doc, please shed some light on daily calcium needs. So daily calcium intake is set really quite arbitrarily high. It's at 1,000 milligrams, or just a gram, which is a lot actually. And a lot of foods have different absorption rates of calcium. So cow's milk is around usually 30% absorption rate, whereas some greens such as kale are actually closer to 60%. So if you're eating a lot of these, spinach, actually, I have to maybe give that heads up because it has quite a bit of calcium, but it's probably one of the lowest I've ever seen in terms of absorption rates. It's down by like 5% absorption rate. So spinach is the exception to this. You don't really want to be relying on spinach for calcium intake, but a lot of other leafy greens, like I said, can be about twice as absorbable calcium as cow's milk. And so, if you're eating a lot of these high quality calcium sources, you might be able to get away with less than half of the RDI for calcium, right? So it's kind of one of the more arbitrary RDIs. I wouldn't worry about it too much. Calcium is actually not the only thing that determines, bone health, bone density, stuff like that. Vitamin D is just as important, if not more important. Resistance exercise, stimulating your bones, like getting some shock in there, running, lifting weights, all that kind of stuff will help your bones get stronger. So I'd say, if you're getting quality foods in, even if you're only hitting 400 or 500 milligrams calcium, you're probably fine. There's a lot of populations that have almost no osteoporosis and are eating quite low, quote unquote, calcium amounts as well. Okay. All right. Let's see. Why have humans eaten meat for so long? I don't know. It's a social thing, I guess. Chimps eat meat. That's really probably a social thing there as well. Apparently, they kind of swing the meat around like it's well, that sounded wrong. They broadcast a piece of meat like a status symbol or something. The chimps' diets are, I think it's 97, 98% plant-based, and then most of the rest is insects. And then every now and then they have actual meat as well, but it's very, very little. And it might be similar. It might be a social thing that people did, or it might be for survival. Of course, if you're eating nothing, if you're in harsh environments, for a small portion of our evolution that we spend a lot of time in the equator where foods were more scarce. But yeah, it might be many different reasons. But what has been shown is that for the majority of time that human beings have existed, we have been predominantly plant-based. We've gotten most of our calories from plants. Even if you look at mummified records, so fossils and fossilized excrements, so like basically really old poo, and you look at what people were eating throughout most of evolution, it was mostly plants. So we definitely do tend to have this overemphasis on meat eating through the caveman days. It's not really a very correct statement to say that we ate a lot of meat throughout most of our evolution. It's always most likely been a very, very small part of our diet. Okay, let's see. I think that's basically it. Yeah. How tall are you? I already answered this. 193 centimeters or 194? I'm not sure. One of those. 6'4". Yeah, pretty tall. That's why it's hard for me to look as buff as John, but I'm gonna get there. But yeah, I got the Norwegian height genes in the family. Let's see. Short when you compare to basketball players, though. I've seen a basketball player once on TV who was actually exactly 194, and he looked so short. It was kind of funny. So yeah, height is relative. Let's see. Yeah, I think we've gotten through a lot of things. This has been a ton of fun. Thank you guys so much for joining. Let me know if you guys do think it's a good idea to do these live streams maybe once a week, get a conversation going, hang out every Sunday, every Sunday around maybe 10 a.m. Eastern. Maybe if you guys have a different, you guys can let me know what time the best time for kind of a weekly thing. Just sit down, conversation, talk about whatever comes to our mind, dreams. Thank you for all the questions. I'll see you guys very soon. There will be a day of eating very soon on my channel as well. So that should be good. I'm doing a full chronometer breakdown so you guys can see exactly the micronutrients, the minerals, the vitamins, the protein, the calories, all that good stuff. And it's kind of what I'm eating now that I'm trying to put on muscle, especially for someone who trains a lot. So if you guys are interested in that, that will be up in a few days as well. So thanks so much once again. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening or morning or day, wherever, depending on where in the world you find yourself. And I will see you soon. Thanks for watching. Oh, I have to click here. Are you sure you want to end your stream? Yes, I am sure.